It's too nice to be inside filming, so I am not in the cockpit. I am down here out on the back deck. I want to talk a little bit about OTAs and some interesting comments that Robert Saleh made regarding Haason Reddick. Alright, so I just got the shipping notification for a package I've been waiting for a little bit of time. So we're going to go downstairs and see if it's at the front door and open it up. Let's see. All right, so Wyatt wrote me a little note. I appreciate your patience, Ryan. Use the top cardboard as a mounting template to make hanging the sign a breeze. Hopefully the LED hole lines up with the hole on your wall. I am rooting hard for the Jets and still love number 8. Treat him with love for me, Wyatt. He's a Packers fan. It's all right. We all can't be perfect, but that's all right. He's a close second. Oh, man. All right, so check that out. Nice sheet metal sign. Got some good weight to it. Wyatt, you have outdone yourself, my friend. Oh, man. New sign on the wall. Check it out. Oh, thank you, Wyatt. Now I have to actually set it up and get the lights around it. But it's up at the very least. I'm semi-productive today. But let's hop into our video. All right, I'm all sorts of excited. That sign actually came in right as I was about to hit recording. So I filmed that little bit of stuff. Got it up on the wall, and now I'm not filming inside. I'm filming outside, and that's all right. But I want to talk to you guys a little bit about Haason Reddick, some comments made by Robert Saleh, and where we stand on the whole Haason Reddick contract extension, what essentially goes into this. I want to go down through the contract, as well as some of the highlights from OTAs today. But without further ado, let's hop into what Robert Saleh had to say.
Robert, has Haason Reddick been here at all this spring?
He has not.
You know why?
No.
He was before he left Philly, he was pretty adamant that he wanted a new contract. Has that been relayed to you guys?
I don't know that. I don't know. That'd probably be more of a question for Joe.
Is it? I know it's voluntary, but is it concerning? He's new to the program. Is it a concern at all?
No, obviously as a coach, selfishly you want everybody here all the time, but it is voluntary, and I'm thankful for the guys who are here putting in their work, and those are the guys who I'm going to focus on.
Have you had any communication with Haason?
I have not.
Is that unusual?
No. Like I said,
Player?
like I said, for me, I'm focused on the guys who are here, and Haason's a pro. He's been in this league a while. He's produced at a very high level for a long time. He's got his routine. If it makes people feel better, we know where he's at. We know what he's doing, and we know he's working his tail off to get where he needs to get to have a productive 24 season.
Do you expect to see him next week?
I do.
So I'll be honest, not the most comforting words from Robert Saleh. He hasn't spoken with the edge rusher that we have brought in to replace Bryce Huff, Haason Reddick. Guy's supposed to be a critical part of this defense coming up for this season. What does it mean? Where does this all kind of stand in terms of Haason Reddick and what his place is on the New York Jets? Obviously, Robert Saleh said he expects him to be here next week. Anytime there is mandatory training camp, you're expecting him to be there. He does have a $250,000 workout bonus. Right, where is it? Cameras are hard. Right here. So if he winds up missing some of these workouts, he would wind up losing that portion of his contract. And if he winds up extending this holdout into training camp and potentially games, he would wind up losing parts of his base salary. And that's very, very challenging to recoup here. So we'll see where this all stands. Sorry, I got the umbrella blowing right now as soon as I start filming. But yeah, look, $14.25 million, it's understandable given the amount of success that he's had in this league. You would expect him to want a contract extension. He doesn't want to play in the final year of a contract, essentially a franchise tag year without the benefit of it being a full franchise tag. Now, I've said in the past, I would love to see them rework this deal to maybe create some more cap space this year. If you could make it into a situation where you could franchise tag him in 2025, I'm all on board with that. I love the idea of having him back-to-back seasons with his back against the wall, I think you get the most productivity out of someone. But I understand him wanting the most financial security. So I guess what they could do is, since it's void years, they may not be able to franchise tag him at the end of the year. So this is essentially a 1 year and done rental. And if Haason Reddick really wants to play, dirty, I guess he could, forego his entire salary for the year and sit out. But I would expect him to probably show up. They could do what's known as a hold in as opposed to a hold out. Hold in is in regards to showing up to the facility but not participating in workouts until a contract is figured out. Now, I'm not sure how much that necessarily comes into play, like come OTAs or training camp and whatnot, but he could report to practice. So right now, not much of a story. I mean, I would not be reporting to voluntary camps if I was in the middle of a contract dispute. I don't think. I'm also not a football player that makes a ton of money. So Haason Reddick, am I concerned? Yeah, I'm definitely a little bit leery as to where this is all going to play out. I don't particularly want to see them give him a big contract. I think that if you sign Reddick to a monster contract, you're running the risk of losing one of Jermaine Johnson, Breece Hall, Sauce Gardner, or Garrett Wilson moving forward. And I don't think that roll of the dice is worth it. I think when push comes to shove, eventually Haason Reddick will report to camp, and it will all kind of be water under the bridge. And then he's going to get a fat contract at the end of this year, whether it be from the Jets or someone else. If he winds up leaving via free agency, the Jets will get a compensation pick back in 2026. Which would recoup the draft pick that they gave up to get him in the first place. So that's sort of where I expect this to be headed. Now, as far as other news from OTAs, Rich Cimini coming in. Few observations from today. A solid day for Aaron Rodgers. 6 of 9, 1 touchdown. He faced some pressure. A couple of those completions could have been ruled a sack. Showed good escapability on a 59-yard strike to Xavier Gibson. Delivered a no-look special to a wide-open Garrett Wilson on 7-on-7 for what it's worth. The starting D-line was absent. So I don't know if that's for the entirety of this stretch of 7-on-7. I guess that's what it sort of seems like. Which means, look, it's the underwear Olympics. It's 7-on-7. I'm not going to read too far into it. But anytime I have to see a post about Aaron Rodgers whipping a touchdown, I could watch those over and over and over again. Be careful. If you watch too many of them, shoot your eye out. No, but very, very excited. Hearing good things out of Aaron Rodgers, especially after last week we heard the limping and the blisters and all that good stuff. Tight end Jeremy Ruckert stood out. He made a nice adjustment on a crossing route, showing good body control on an Aaron Rodgers pass. That is, this is an important year for Ruckert, currently tight end number 2. I do expect him to be tight end number 2. I know 𝐤𝐵O has been showing out a little bit on special teams and maybe a little bit in camp, but Ruckert has been rock solid in the blocking game, and I do think he's going to flourish with Aaron Rodgers, much like a lot of these players are probably going to flourish with Aaron Rodgers under center. Rookie running back Braylon Allen continued to impress as a receiver. He made plays in space, even downfield on a long contested pass. He's a hands catcher, not a body catcher, and looks smooth. He caught only 49 passes through 3 years at Wisconsin. He's an underrated receiver, especially for a 235-pound back. So I told you guys during the draft process, Braylon Allen was absolutely my draft crush. I had him in, I think, 2 of my mock off seasons towards the end of the off season. I had him in my final mock off season at like the pick that we ended up selecting him at. So I very much like Braylon Allen. This guy is an absolute stud. Now, I wasn't expecting him to be all that impactful in the receiving side of things, but if he can get some opportunities, much like Breece Hall did not get a ton of opportunities at Iowa in the receiving game. If you look at it, actually, Nathaniel Hackett has been the offensive coordinator throughout Breece's career that has used him the most in the receiving game, which is bonkers considering Hackett had that wild press conference where he's like, I didn't even realize Breece Hall could catch the ball, or he's pretty good out of the backfield or whatever. So looking forward to getting another asset in the backfield that can complement Breece Hall. Hopefully this is our Dalvin Cook replacement and upgrade. Other running back news, Izzy Abanikanda. Not too many reps. You wonder if he might be getting lost in the shuffle. That's kind of what fans have sort of been contemplating or thinking or worrying about. Maybe you you spent a pick on him last year and you were hoping to see a little bit more than what we got out of him thus far. You draft 2 running backs this year. You bring in Tarik Cohen. So it seems like you're starting to push out Izzy. If not, he's going to be fighting for a roster spot, or how is he going to contend with potentially being running back 4 going into this year? It's going to be interesting to see. I'm not crazy, passionate one way or the other, I guess. I'd like to see Izzy work out. It was fun to watch him last preseason, but again, I understand the pecking order of things. Good players are going to wind up having to get cut potentially, and Izzy could be one of those players. as much as that might surprise some. Rookie running back Isaiah Davis lined up in the wrong spot on one play with Rodgers at quarterback and was sent off the field. This is a common thing with Rodgers at quarterback. You do not pay attention. You line up in the wrong spot. You cause a penalty. You put your team in a bad situation. And guess what? Aaron Rodgers wants to see you off the field. Peyton Manning used to do this all the time. You catch the ball with 2 hands, not 1, as he was famously quoted. So look, you got to make sure you're doing the right thing. And Isaiah Davis, you screwed up. I would bet you're probably not going to screw up again after having Aaron Rodgers call you out in front of the practice. In between series, Rodgers spent a few minutes on defensive sideline chatting with C.J. Mosley. It looked like they were rehashing the previous series. It's never a bad thing when 2 of the smartest guys in the field are talking football. Now, I think everyone sort of expects Aaron Rodgers and C.J. Mosley are not where they were at the very pinnacle of their career. They're obviously older veterans in this league, but the collective smarts between both of them, Mosley is the quarterback of that defense as well as much as Rodgers is the quarterback of the offense, and the collective sight that they can have overall between, hey, this is how I'm going to attack you, CJ, based on the alignment that you show me, and CJ saying, hey, this is how we're going to counteract the types of looks or what we're seeing out of particular players. Like Mosley may be saying, like, hey, look, Corley's tipping his hand over here. We know exactly where he's going to go, and that kind of can help out across the board. So obviously having that level of dialogue between units is absolutely huge. It was a busy day for left tackle Olu Fashanu, who got plenty of reps. It was a rest day for Tyron Smith, who spent a long time talking with visiting alumni Nick Mangold. Lots of O-line wisdom in that conversation. Yeah, between Tyron Smith and Nick Mangold, that is a studly offensive line conversation. And obviously, 74, Nick Mangold meeting the new 74, Olu Fashanu. I still hope that Olu winds up changing his number. I don't really want to see Olu in the 74 number, but for now, it is what it is. But I do like that you have so much knowledge on what appears to be a very young offensive line with Elijah Vera Tucker, with Joe Tippmann, with Olu Fashanu. Obviously, you have John Simpson coming over from Baltimore along with Morgan Moses. So the collective strength of this offensive line room and the knowledge that they possess along with some of the vets that we could bring in as maybe a little bit of guidance or something to bounce ideas off of Nick Mangold. Always a good thing to see. And quarterback Tyrod Taylor sure likes to throw the ball deep. So sounds like he's airing it out. Now, when I think Tyrod Taylor, I think safe, consistent passes, dink and dunk down the field, get yourself in position to win the game. He's not going to necessarily be the one that causes you to win the game. He's going to distribute it to his playmakers, but he's also not going to be the one to lose it. So to see him air it out is kind of nice. Maybe gives him a little bit more freedom and flexibility to have fun. I don't know. I like the deep pass. I don't want to see all the dink and dunk stuff. We're going to see a lot of dink and dunk stuff. That is exciting because Corley and Garrett and Brees are studs at the yak yardage. But every now and then I do like a good old air it out. So guys, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. What do you think about OTAs, what Rich Cimini has to say? What do you think about Haason Reddick's contract? Do you think he's going to wind up getting a new deal? What do you want to see the Jets do with him moving forward? Let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, go Jets.